There are many aspects to his life. The most important aspect is that he is a Buddha. That's not his name. His name is Gautama Siddhartha, but he is a Buddha. Buddha means he transcended his intellect. Bu means buddhi, dha means dada. Buddhi means the intellect, dada means one who is above. One who is above his intellect is a Buddha. So how did he become this? He tried many things in his life. He was a prince of a small princely state. Because some yogi predicted that this will either become a great emperor or become a great sage. When he made this prediction, the father got little excited. He did not want him to become a great sage, he wanted to become a great emperor. So he decided he will not expose him to… because he thought by being exposed to some suffering or misery, he may turn into a sage. So he kept him in utter pleasure, the best of food, best of clothes, best of pleasures, everything. When he was 19 years of age, he got him married to a very pretty young woman, kept him in a palace secluded from the rest of the society where he lives in pleasure, never exposed to any kind of suffering. One day he thought he will just take a drive through the town. He asked his charioteer to take him across. So he was going, and then he saw a man who was old, was going like this. So he had never seen an old man in his life. His father had protected him from all this. He said, what happened to him? So the charioteer, oh, he's just an old man. How does it happen? He asked. He said, everybody gets old someday. He looked at himself, he was a nice youth. What, me also? He said, yes, everybody gets old. They live long enough, they get old. This was a realization for him, I will become like this. Then he saw a man lying on the street who was ill with something, not able to get up, in great suffering. He said, stop, what is this guy? What's he doing? He said, oh, he's sick, unfortunately. What does that mean? He said, my body, sometimes it gets sick. It can happen to anybody, it can happen to just anybody. Me, a prince, it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. Then he said, oh, I can become like this. Then they were going further, he was completely disturbed by this. Then he saw a funeral. They were carrying a dead body of a man. What happened to that guy? Oh, he just died, that's all. What does that mean? That happens to everybody without exception. Then he said, what am I doing? Just eating, pleasures, nonsense, what am I doing with myself? And he struggled, he went into turmoil within himself. This suddenly being a prince and these pleasures and all this palace suddenly broke apart for him, and he started looking, what is the point of all this? This is going to get old, this may get sick, for sure this will be dead. What am I investing my entire life in this? But by then he had an infant boy. He looked at his wife and his child, this loving wife and this lovely little baby. He could not leave. He struggled and struggled and struggled. By then, a little over 1.25 years passed. When the boy was 1.5 years of age, he could not hold it anymore. In the middle of the night, like a thief, without telling anybody, he slipped out of the palace and left for good. He went in search, I want to know the truth about this life. Gautama went to every known master of the time. He was intellectually so brilliant and his longing so great. If he went to a place, what normally somebody would pick it up in years, he would do it in weeks. The 8 types of samadhis, he achieved all 8 of them, but still he knew this is not fullness of life, still longing. When nothing else worked, he took to an extreme path which is called as samanas. One of the most basic aspects of their life is they never ask for food, just keep walking, 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 walking. Gautama took the path so severely that he didn't walk in the direction as to where food is, he simply walked straight. In the process, he destroyed his body so badly, his body became so weak. He became all skin and bones because he did not go in search of food. Unless it came to him, he never ate. One day, he came to the banks of Niranjana. This is a small stream, just about 2 feet, flowing little swiftly. He came, he tried to cross. Halfway down, he could not take another step. He did not have the strength in his body. There was a dead branch of a tree. He held on to it. We do not know how long he stood there. In his weakness, in his inability to stand there, holding on to this must have felt like a long time. It might have been just a few minutes, it may be a few hours, we don't know. But in his experience, it was a long time. He just hung there. He has no strength to take the next step, but he's not the kind to give up. Then suddenly he realized the problem was that he was trying to realize, not allowing that to take him, he's trying to take that. He's trying to realize something which is limitless, which is boundless. Then he became absent. Suddenly he had the strength to take those few steps across the river, went and sat down under the Bodhi tree. He sat down and decided, I will sit here. Either I must become a part of it or I will die here. I will not get up from this place. He just sat down. The full moon was rising and he attained to his fullest. And he sat there in a certain state of ecstasy and blissfulness. Which aspect of Shiva did Buddha explore? He explored the path of awareness, which is one aspect. It's very unidimensional, but the significance of Gautama Buddha is, he is very scientific, clinical. He appeals to the logical mind. There are many beautiful episodes in his life. When he one day walked upon the river bank after he has become a Buddha and went and sat down under a tree. Tree, not because tree is the best place to sit under, you know, ants can get you. Because that was the only real estate of those times. There are no buildings and buildings and buildings everywhere. So tree was a good place, a pleasant place to sit under. Rather than sitting in harsh sun, you sit under a tree. An astrologer who was of great proficiency in his trade saw the footprint on the riverbank. He had come to… In India, people of any… this thing means… bath means always river. Those rivers are going away, I will tell you later. Bath means always river. So he came for a bath, the river, then he saw the footprint. There is a whole science, or rather observations, through which by looking at the way one's feet is, somebody predicts exactly what he will do. So he saw the footprint and then he saw that this is the footprint of an emperor, somebody who should rule the world. Then he wondered, why would such a person be in this remote place near a jungle? Then he followed the footprint, thinking he will meet an emperor. Then he saw this monk, Gautama, sitting under a tree. Then he looked at he thought either my astrology has gone all wrong, or I'm being fooled, or I'm in some kind of a hallucination. What's happening here? Then he went to Gautama and asked, who are you? Gautama was in this kind of Jasjeet kind of state. He said, I'm nobody. I'm just a nobody. But you have the feet of an emperor. You should conquer the world. Gautama said, that I will, but not by conquest. See, there are two ways you can have the world, either by conquest or by inclusion. Yes? I can make you yours, either by capturing you, chaining you and making you do what I want, or by including you as a part of myself. Yes? Both ways, something or somebody becomes yours, isn't it? But if you go by conquest, it will be a pain in your neck, always. If you include, this will become a great enhancement of life. He said, I am the emperor of the world. But then he said, you're a monk, you own nothing. I own nothing and I am a nobody. That is why everything is mine. Even mathematicians are trying to teach you the zero and the infinite are one and the same. So you becoming a no thing does not mean you're no use. You are a no thing means you have become all-inclusive, isn't it? You are something means you can only be that. You are a no thing, you can be any way you want. This is how this life is made. If your ability to respond is not curtailed, you can be anything you wish at any given moment, isn't it? So Gautama said, I'm anyway the emperor of the world, if that's a word you like, but I'm actually a nobody, because everything is anyway mine. If you see, I'm responsible for everything, everything is yours, isn't it? How does somebody become yours? Because you own them or you take responsibility for them? Because you take responsibility for them, they become yours, not otherwise, isn't it? If you own them forcefully, they will never be yours. Yes or no? Yes. If you forcefully own somebody, will they ever be yours? They'll never ever be yours. So this astrologer sat down. He said, you are a monk, you have nothing, on top of it you say, you're Jasjeet, I'm sorry. On top of it you say, I am a nobody and everything is yours. What is this? Gautama said, you come, I have a way for you. You are busy making predictions of life. I have a plan. Why do you make predictions of life? You're incapable of making a plan and executing a plan. That is why you fall back on predictions, isn't it? Yes or no? If you are capable of making a plan and executing the plan, would you fall back on predictions? No. So Gautama said, you are busy making predictions. I'm here, I have a plan. Come, become a part of my plan. We'll make something else happen. You must become a part of this plan. We can make something wonderful happen.
Whether you will become the richest man in the world or not, whether you will climb Mount Everest or not, whether you will run faster than Mr. Bolt or not, whether you will become the prettiest woman in the world or not, these are subject to variety of realities. But whether you will become a pleasant piece of life or not is 100% in your hands. If you exercise this choice, the Buddha is within you. Otherwise, you have lost it.